Hey there. So today the patient is Logan McFall. He is a 21-year-old college student that was just recently diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. His doctor has recommended that he try to manage his diabetes with a change in diet and exercise, but so far he hasn't been very successful in managing his diabetes. He has a PAM score of 60, so he's in stage 3. So he kind of has an idea of what he needs to be doing, but he's just kind of lacking the confidence and maybe the skills to help him reach his goals in managing his diabetes. So I think he's ready to come in now. Hey Logan, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Have a seat. So I hear that you were just recently diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. So
Yeah.
how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, it's a lot to be on me right now, and just having a problem figuring out what I need to be doing with balancing my blood sugar and all, and what I need to be eating, trying to work more activity and do a busy schedule. It's just all it's kind of a lot to be on me at one time.
I can understand that. Trying to manage something like this with school, that can be a lot. And it can seem a little bit overwhelming with maybe all the things that the doctors kind of told you. So do you have any questions about maybe what the doctors told you about your diabetes?
I mean, kind of yes and no, I guess.
Okay.
He's told me a lot about what I need to be doing and all these rules to follow and everything else. It's kind of overwhelming. All these sudden changes I apparently have to make at once. It's just a lot. I don't really know what exactly I need to be following, I guess, is what I'm looking for, and just trying to figure out how to regulate everything.
Okay. Well, it can seem a little bit overwhelming. It is something that's going to have to change your lifestyle, something, maybe habits that you have that are going to have to be changed. It can seem a little bit overwhelming at first, but you don't have to make all the changes at once, and you don't have to do it by yourself. I'm here to help you make whatever kind of changes that you decide that you need to make and help you figure out how to better manage your diabetes in ways that fit into your lifestyle that maybe don't just completely change your life totally. So what are some of the things that you'd like to talk with me about today? Maybe some ideas that you have about how you want this conversation to go.
Well, I mean, I really just want to figure out how I need to balance my blood sugar and what I need to be doing with that.
Mm-hmm.
Just how I can be more active, fit that in my schedule, I guess.
Okay, so that's something that we can talk about. So what are some of the things that are important to you? Walk me through a little bit of your day.
Well, I mean, first off, I guess I do a lot with classes because, as a college student, that's a big part of my life. I'm either in class or studying for class, whatever else. I like to go out and get milkshakes with my girlfriend. It's usually a thing to do after a date. Go to Cookout or go to Sonic and get a slushie there. I guess those are kind of sugary.
Mm-hmm.
And then I used to like to hike a good bit too, but it's kind of gotten stressful recently with, the months leading up to before I got diagnosed with diabetes. I had a hard time managing my blood sugar and all. I just really didn't know what was going on. I'd be hiking, be fine, then all of a sudden I'd just get dizzy and faint and stuff. And it was harder to be out enjoying the trail and enjoying the activity when I was worried about what was going to be going on with my body the whole time. So it's kind of something I've done a lot less of recently.
I can see how that would make it hard for you to want to be more active and do things like that if you're not really sure how to manage your diabetes. That can be very stressful. I can understand that. So can I share with you some information maybe based on some of the things that you've told me and maybe try to help you give you some information about your diabetes?
Sure.
Okay. Well, so since you are a type 2 diabetic, I'm sure that the doctor probably told you lots of things about it, but the important thing for you to know is that this is something that can be managed with a change in your diet and a change in your activity level. So it sounds like you are already doing some things that are good for your activity. Or anything else that you do that helps you to be active, maybe day to day on campus?
I mean, I don't take the bus because I don't like waiting on it. So I do a good bit of walking. Same thing with the elevator, I guess. I take the stairs. But
Okay. Well, these are all very good things, and these can help you manage your weight. And these are things that are helping you to be active more so than if you did ride the bus. So those are all good things that maybe we can kind of help build on to maybe increase your activity a little bit more. You did mention that you like to go out to cook out in Sonic and things like that after your dates. Is there a particular reason that you do that? Is that just something fun for you to do with your girlfriend? Is it, for dessert? What kind of brings that about?
I mean, I just really like cookies and cream. I always get a cookies and cream milkshake. It's just kind of the fun thing to do after a date. It's just kind of something we enjoy doing together.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can understand that. It's nice to take your girlfriend out. Maybe we can look at maybe trying to do something to cut back.
Yeah.
So that is a lot of added sugar that isn't very good for your diabetes, and managing that, which can make it harder for you to be able to go do other things that you like to do, like hiking.
I mean, she's definitely willing to work with me. I mean, the diagnosis has kind of been a big thing for both of us, so and she'll understand. I'm just gonna have to keep going on dates somewhere. Obviously, we just can't cut that out. So I guess that's something else I'm gonna have to think about. Is what am I gonna be doing instead of that if that's something I get rid of?
I can see how that might be a concern for you, but maybe instead of taking her out, all the time to go get milkshakes after a date, maybe for a dessert you go somewhere healthier, and maybe you have some fruit back at your apartment or something like that. And maybe we can even we can talk about some maybe adding in as other dates for something fun for you to do together, and for her to help support you would be maybe doing the hiking, maybe go on shorter hikes closer to home,
Mm-hmm.
and help you better manage your diabetes. Would that be something you think we could talk about?
Yeah, I think that could work.
Okay. Well, how do you feel about starting to take a small step to start to change some of these things?
Yeah, I'd be willing to do that. I mean, I guess I have some ideas of what I should do from what you've been saying. But...
Okay. Well, would you like me to help you start making a short-term plan?
Sure.
It's important that the things that you make in your plan, that there's something that you want to do, and the second, that there's something that you think that you can do. So for our short-term goal of our plan, we're going to work for you doing something for a week.
Mm-hmm.
So short time period, have you come back in, we'll talk and see what worked and maybe what didn't. So what are some things that you would be willing to do in this next week to maybe help you better manage your diabetes?
Well, I mean, I eat ice cream, I guess, as much as milkshakes in the dining hall, so I guess I could cut back on that, maybe go for a banana or something instead.
Mm-hmm.
And, maybe instead of our date after for a milkshake, we go out on a hike on Saturday and just really watch it and be careful and feel out how it goes. Maybe just go to the experimental forest somewhere close by instead of going real far away.
Okay, so it sounds to me like you're wanting to make a little bit of a diet change and increasing your physical activity. Is that something that you're wanting to do?
Yeah, I can try that.
Okay, so let's try to make it a little bit more concrete. So we've got an idea of what you want to do. Let's try to figure out how you're going to do it and when you're going to do it.
All right.
So you said that you wanted to maybe take her out on a date on Saturday. Is that something that you think that you can do some point over the weekend?
Yeah. I think Saturday would probably be the best.
Okay. Well, if that's what would work best for you, maybe you use maybe a short trail. Make sure that you're checking your blood sugar before you go. Make sure that everything looks all right, and go out for a nice little walk. Okay, so go ahead and write that down. And so you're talking about maybe cutting back on some of your ice cream and milkshakes. Is that correct? That's what you're wanting to do? Okay. About how many times a week would you typically eat ice cream or have a milkshake or smoothie or something like that?
5, 6.
Okay, so that is a good bit of added sugar. So you think maybe you can cut that back in half, maybe? Maybe only 2 times a week?
Yeah.
Something you think you can do? Okay. Are there any particular times other than the dates that maybe make it harder for you? That way maybe we can talk about one of those situations so that we can kind of find something for you to substitute besides going for that milkshake.
I mean, I eat ice cream with dinner.
Okay, well, if it's something that you're eating like that sweet tooth, that you're trying to satisfy, maybe going for that fruit, like a banana or something like that. It still has sugar, since it has natural sugars in it, but it's not going to be as bad for you as the extra sugar that's in maybe milkshake or your cookies and cream ice cream. It's just important that you don't overdo it. Don't eat a whole pound of bananas or something like that. That would be a lot of sugar too.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're managing just maybe one banana after dinner, that would be a good start.
All right. Yeah, I can try that.
So do you have any questions? Did you maybe about your diabetes or anything else that we've talked about?
I don't think so. I think so. Let's try to eat fruit some this week instead of ice cream as much, and go get some more activity in on Saturday with some hiking.
Okay, so that sounds like a very good goal. So it sounds like you have a good plan of how you think you can reach it. Do you think that this is something that you can, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident do you feel that you can do this over the next week?
Mm-hmm.
1 being, I don't think I can do it all, and 10 being, I know I can do it.
I'm probably like an 8 or so. I mean, hike's gonna be easy to go do. We don't have a real bad week, but I think I can mostly eat fruit, but I'll probably have to have a bowl or 2 ice cream, at some point.
Okay, that's something that, you might have a hard time struggling with some of those things, but it's important for you not to get discouraged when something like that happens. It's going to be a process to try to change some of these habits that you're used to doing all week long. It's going to just take some time. So we'll just take it just 1 week at a time, see how it works out for you, and we'll see you back in a week. All right?
All right.
Thanks, Logan. It was nice to see you.
It was nice to see you.
So last week, Logan came in and we made a short-term plan for him. So he's coming back in again this week, and we're going to see what went well and see what we can do about maybe starting a long-term plan for him. So, hi, Logan. So, how did last week go for you?
I think it went pretty well. Ate the banana most of the days, so I ate other food too, obviously. But, cut out a little bit of ice cream, went on the hike Saturday, and I think it went pretty well. I didn't have any problems with it.
Okay.
We both had fun going on it.
That's very good. So, so like what you were saying, so it was good that you ate the fruit. So, whenever I called you in the middle of the week last week, we talked about some of the different fruits that you like, some vegetables too, maybe, just to kind of have an idea of what you like. So, it's good that you started adding some of those things in.
Mm-hmm.
That your girlfriend went with you on your hike. That's good. It's
Yeah,
a nice date.
A lot more, a lot more supportive with her being there in case I did have anything go on with my blood sugar. So it's a lot better than being by myself or, someone less interested being with me.
Right. That is good that you have somebody to help support you. So what are some of the things that you think went well with your plan?
Well, I think a sweet tooth was still satisfied with being able to eat the fruits instead of just, quitting ice cream and not replacing it with anything. So that's good. I think the hike went well with working some activity into it that replaced the date of going out to get a milkshake with someone we still had fun with. Kind of reminded me of what I used to go do before I had problems with the diabetes.
It's good that you can substitute something that you already like to do for maybe some less healthy behaviors, so that we're just building on things that you already like, that you're already used to doing, so that doesn't seem so overwhelming, because you seemed really overwhelmed the last time when you came in.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I got it a little bit more together, kind of just looking to what's next and what I need to do.
Okay, well that's definitely a good place to be. Is there anything that happened over the last week, any areas that you think might need to be improved? Maybe something that you struggled with?
Well, I still had to eat the ice cream once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
I did manage to eat that. It was a banana split, so.
Well, you did at least have a fruit in there. I guess that's a good thing. Still need to work on the sugar, but it's okay that, sometimes, you're going to give in to that craving of the sweet tooth. The main thing is if we can just manage your diabetes with reducing some of the extra sugar and improving on your activity, those would all be really good things for you. So you've proven that you can make these changes. I'm proud that you were able to, go out for the hike and that you're able to start working on your diet. Do you have any other questions about your diet? I know that you really seemed overwhelmed about that last week.
Well, I mean, I'm just wanting to, I guess, work on more than just not eating ice cream and eating fruit instead. So, looking for a more whole aspect of the diet.
Okay, that's definitely a good sign. So, could I help you maybe try to make a longer plan to help manage your diabetes through looking at more of the aspect of your diet a little bit more?
Sure.
Okay. So what would you say some of your long-term goals would be, other than maybe just increasing activity or something?
Well, I mean, I'd like to be back to hiking like I used to be, I guess. I'd like to, improve my diet and probably get a little bit of weight off. It's never a bad thing to do.
It is true that, managing your weight and your activity and watching your diet, those are all things that will definitely help you to better manage your diabetes. So it seems like, coming up with a diet is something that you kind of brought up a lot. Is that something that you're wanting to look at as maybe as a long-term goal?
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay. So, like I said, when we talked over the phone, we talked about some different fruits and vegetables and things like that that are good, kind of just something for you to think about. So I'm glad to hear that you did at least eat your banana. But let's look at some of the things that I've kind of put together for you today. So here I have this box. And in the box I have pictures of some of the fruits and things that we had talked about over the phone. So like we've got some broccoli and some cucumbers, and we've got a banana in here too. Maybe without the banana split next time, But anyway, so we've got all of these things for you, and we have this chart here too. Let me help you look at it. So these are just some ideas of different vegetables and some fruits. Since you are a diabetic, your serving size is a little bit different. So, instead of a cup of fruit, since you're diabetic and you're needing to cut back a little on the sugar, you're going to be needing about half of a cup. So typically people tell you that a cup is a fist measure. So it's something that's easy for you to use. So a half cup in your case would be your knuckle portion. So if you can make a fist like this part right here, that would be about half a cup. So that way, next time, make sure that you don't go for the extra large banana. Make sure that you're looking at more, smaller sizes to help with the sugar. And for as far as the vegetables, it's about the same. Trying to, not have very starchy, so you're wanting things more like, your cucumbers, your peppers, your things like that. So this is all laid out here for you in this chart. So do you think that maybe this would be something that would help you to remember what you're eating?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So maybe every time you eat one of these fruits or vegetables, you can put it in your basket.
All right.
And then maybe at the end of the day, you look at your basket and you look at how many fruits and vegetables you ate. So that maybe will help you have more of a visual of what you're actually eating throughout the day. So I know that you were really overwhelmed last week. So I'm wanting to try to make sure that...
Yeah, it said I need to visualize it a little more, so I guess it's really helping.
Yeah. So that hopefully these old habits, kind of slowly replacing them with things and seeing these every day is hopefully going to help you make this become more of a habit, so that eventually you'll just know, okay, I need to have more vegetables today. I need to do this. So these will be things that I'll let you take home with you today. So let's look at this. This is a contract kind of talking about these goals that you've made. So tell me again, so make sure that I understand, what are some of your long-term goals that you want?
Well, I'd like to manage my diabetes better, so I guess that means, being a little more active, eating a better diet, cutting out some of the sugary things, and managing my weight, getting it down a little bit.
Okay, so these are the things that we're going to write here.
All right.
And your long-term goal is going to be about 4 weeks before we see you again, unless you
Okay.
need to call me and talk about anything else. So this is how we have outlined for each week with your activity and just some kind of like little small journal for you to kind of help, so that whenever you come back in, if there's something that you have a problem with, you can have written it down so that you're not trying to remember back, till a week ago. So I'll write these things down for you. We'd also like for you talked about your girlfriend a lot, being able to help you with the hiking and things. Do you think that she would be willing to help sign this contract with you to help support you, keep you accountable? Do you think that's something that she would be willing to do with you?
Yeah, I think she definitely would be. I mean, we talked about having changes I'm going to have to make with managing the diabetes. I think she's definitely going to be able to help with that.
Well, that's very good. It's very important that you have somebody to help support you. You have me here, but you can always call me. But sometimes it's nice to have a roommate or a girlfriend or somebody that you might see a little bit more often. So if this is something that you're really, truly committed to, then this is something that we'll have you sign, just kind of putting it down on paper that this is your goal. These are the things that you're truly committed to. Is this something that you think that you're willing to do?
Sure.
Okay. Well, that's very good news. So over the next month or so, with the next 4 weeks, what are some of the things that you're going to be able to do to reach your goal of managing your diabetes a little bit better and increasing your physical activity?
Well, the 4 weeks, probably the first week, I'm just going to want to do the same thing I did last week. Just make sure I'm really hammering that one home. Start thinking about the fruits and vegetables servings a little more. Then, the week 2, I'm going to start wanting to do that same stuff. Probably work this into it a little more than just thinking about it.
Okay.
Week 3 and week 4, I'd kind of like everything to be tied in, I guess, and really be working on it. I mean, the quicker I get to working all this stuff together, the better I'm going to feel. I mean, this diabetes is going to be something I'm going to have. I obviously want to make the change pretty quickly.
I mean, you're young and you're healthy, and these are, definitely good changes for you to be making now, so that you don't have, any of the negative side effects of diabetes later on in life, for you to go ahead and get a good control of it. So these are good things that you're telling me. It sounds like you're really ready to make a change. How confident do you feel on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being not confident at all, and 10 being knowing that you can do it, for making these changes over the next month?
I end up probably a 10 or so the first couple of weeks. Just doing the stuff I've already been doing and working the new serving sizes and everything into it. And probably a 6 or 7. That's something I'm going to have to work a lot harder with. Might have to talk to you more between now and then about it, but I think it's definitely something I can do with the recommendations and having something to actually visualize what I'm supposed to be doing.
Okay, that sounds good. It seems like you might be a little bit unsure about the diet part of it. So let's just kind of go back over it again, make sure that you're understanding. So if you were trying to make a serving size for yourself, for maybe for lunch or for dessert, for fruit, how exactly would you go about making that serving size?
Well, you're supposed to eat about a cup of fruit, but with, my sugar and all, I'm trying to balance it. I need half of that. So, you said a cup's about the size of your fist, so it'd be half my fist.
So that would be, remember, looking at this part of your fist right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are good things. So you know about your serving sizes and things like that. Just kind of remember that you have your chart here to help you go over different things that you have with your fruits and vegetables, and help you be able to see by putting your fruits and vegetables when you eat them into your basket. So it sounds like you have all the tools that you need. You know that you can do it. You're able to get through last week. You did very well. You feel very confident about that part.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're at 10, so that's very good. That you feel like you're that confident in being able to do these things. And I look forward to seeing how well you do in the next month.
All right. I'm looking forward to taking it on and hoping I can work it out.
Well, it was very nice meeting with you, and I'll see you again in a month.
All
Thanks,
right.
Logan.
Sounds good.